We're going to have a look at the new historic environment viewer that's now available via archaeology.ie. If we scroll down to our familiar bit on archaeology.ie, Archaeological Survey Database, look at the URL in the bottom left hand corner here. It's not been updated. It will take you to the old website and that no longer works. So for the minute, just pop into New Historic Environment Viewer on the News tab and that will take you through to a link. The direct URL is webgis.archaeology.ie/historic environment. So this opens up into the old familiar map system that we have. You can see the layout has changed quite a bit up the top here. We've got our various options up here for querying different layers and so forth at the top right. We've got the opportunity to go straight back to archaeology.ie National Monument Service here on the Home tab for NMS, and similarly for the Archaeological Heritage Inventory for Ireland, we've got the Home tab there as well. Just to say, we've got down here coordinate system is in ITM and that's set by default. We can change that, but I'd encourage everyone to use it. And up here in the top left we have the opportunity of searching for a specific address, which saves a lot of zooming around and playing around with different things and looking at different townland options. So we can zoom straight in to that. One of the things you'll notice straight away is we now have some blue dots. So the blue dots are the new addition. This is the architectural heritage that's been added in as well, and it complements the red dots that we have here, which are the archaeological monuments. So we've got two sets of data up now here. So first thing we're going to do is go to query data. So this is very similar to what used to be in the old version. You've got a choice straight away though. You need to query either National Monument Service for archaeology or the National Inventory of Architectural Heritage for the architecture. So we're going to stick with the archaeology. County, we're going to go up to Sligo, as I do a lot of work in Sligo. And the townland. It used to be that you'd have a drop down box for the townland. Now it actually responds to what you're typing yourself. So I'm going to go to Inishmore or Coney Island here, and you can see that comes up straight away as you're typing the first few letters of the townland. You can search by town as well if you want, and of course monument class. And if you're doing monument class, what would it be for Barrow? All the options, again, they come straight up for you, so you just select what you want rather than a drop down box. So we go to search, and there we are, we're at Coney Island, and as before, everything in the townland that you've searched for, in this case Inishmore, Coney Island, we have our red and yellow dots. Anything beyond the townland is still highlighted, so we have our red and blue dots, the blue dots being the new additions for the architectural heritage. We can go straight to any of these records by double clicking on them. We get the full scope note there, and we can copy and paste that if we want to. The other thing we have is attachments on some of these, and these attachments will actually lead us to the JPEG. So JPEGs down at the bottom here. You can scroll through those if you want, and if you like the look of one of them, you can click through and it opens up in a brand new tab there. Okay, so click back. And there we have, so that's our first main query. You can also query by shape, so you can do it by the standard rectangular query if you like, or alternatively we can use our star multi-point blob. There we go, lovely. And similarly we can use our buffer line just as we could before, so we get the line up there. It's set automatically for a buffer of 500 meters. I'll set it for 100 meters. And you start drawing your line, and you're essentially drawing your imaginary road scheme and seeing how many monuments fall within that. Double click, and there we go, we have our buffer of 100 meters either side, and you can actually see how many monuments fall into that area. Okay, now the other new thing is this: you can search by monument number as before, but unlike before, it doesn't matter that you don't know all the number details or all these dashes. You remember all these blasted dashes getting in the way? They don't actually make any difference now. So you can just search without the dashes, and there you go, you get all these different options come up. So that's quite nice. So there we are at Bective Abbey, and we didn't have to put in those 4 dashes, which normally catches everybody out. Now we have our layer list. Again, we can add in our zones of notification just like we could before. So we have a little zone of notification around each monument, and we can turn off the architectural heritage if we were bothered about that as well, or turn off the archaeology. So a little on and off options. We have the mapping here. So as before, we have the aerial. This is, I think, the 2005 aerial. What you'll see is we have a new aerial as well in the digital globe, and from what I've been seeing, it's much better, much higher quality, the digital globe. There you go, that's the difference. So we're on the digital globe there, and we go back to the OSI data from 2005. So I would strongly recommend digital globe. We also have the historic mapping, which you'll need to zoom out a little bit for. Exactly the same as before, so you can switch between those. I'll do a quick advert for GeoHive and just tell you, if you've not looked at GeoHive already, you can get all of these maps and you can create them as transparencies as well. So you can have a 6-inch map overlaid on the digital globe aerial photograph, and you can zoom between those really easily. It's really good. So we'll move off the base map. We'll go into the Google Street View. Now this doesn't work yet. I've been playing around with it. We take little Mr. Street View, pop him on a road, nothing happens. So we can assume that this will work in the near future, but at the minute nothing's actually happening. Alright, so we'll ignore him for the time being. We have our coordinate system, so if you were interested in a particular coordinate, so I'll just pop in something similar to what we already have down here in the bottom left hand corner. Coordinate system, by default it's Irish Traverse Mercator ITM. You can choose the old Irish National Grid if you want, or you can go for the longitude latitude option in WGS 84. But you can just tap in that, and there you go, that's the coordinate I selected, just a little distance away from Bective Abbey there. Now on top of that, we also have data export. So just as before, you can choose which one you want to export, whether it's archaeology or architecture. Choose the county. There isn't an all county option. It says there is, but you can't download all of the data from all of Ireland. It's not possible. You can specify a class, so again we'll go for Barrow, and you can download whichever Barrow classification you want, but to be honest, I'm more interested in downloading all of the data rather than just one specific monument type. I'm choosing a shapefile. I use that in ArcGIS and QGIS. There's CAD options there as well. There's a range of options just as there were before, but I'm going to take the shapefile, and again I'm going to select ITM as my coordinate system, download the data, and within about 5 to 10 seconds you get the message come up that, that it's ready to download. So job status extracting, that's getting ready to go. Click to download file when it's ready. You get a zip file depending on how quick your internet connection is. There's the zip folder, and you're now ready to pop all of that straight into your GIS if you want to. Now the final thing is just the drawing tab. This has come on leaps and bounds since the previous version. You'll see what I mean straight away. Look at that. We've got a point, and we can choose any of these point styles that we want. There's loads of different options, and you can click through these menus as well, and there's even more options. So there's thousands of them, and I'd just like to say well done National Monuments for doing this. I think this is a really good step forward. Similarly, if we go into lines, you can completely control the size and the shape of all your lines, so it's really handy. Right, that's about it. I would just say go for the text option is good. There we go for your text. Change the color of the font as well if you want, and then just put your point in. Should do. There we go. Okay, right. Thanks very much, and I'll see you later.